This program features live coverage.
And the gloomy clouds are over Djuma again this morning, and this is Safari Live.
Ready.
Standing by.
Five, four, three, two, one. You are live, you are live.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Safari Live. My name is Byron, and on camera with me this morning is Craig, or Batman, and then, of course, we've got Tara and Senzo on the other vehicle, and then the ladies in the final control. As I said, a very good morning to you. It is cloudy. I'm assuming these clouds are going to burn off a little bit later. It's not that cold this morning because of the cloud cover. It insulates a lot of the warmth. We just got going out of camp. We hoping to find anything really this morning. We're driving around hoping for leopard especially. Now, we had an update from some of the other guides. They had shongile yesterday, which is very exciting. We have not seen that young female leopard for quite some time. So both myself and Tara are going to look around very, very carefully to see if we can find any tracks of her and hopefully find her. Now, don't forget, everybody, we are completely live, so send us your questions and your comments. You can do that via Twitter at #SafariLive, and we will hopefully answer them for you. Now, don't forget, we are, for some of you, our new viewers, we are situated right up in the northeastern part of South Africa, in an area known as the Greater Kruger National Park, and we are on Djuma Game Reserve in the Sabi Sands. It's actually a lovely morning, and it's not too cold at all, but you can see it's still quite dark, so we've got the spotlights out, and we'll see, hopefully we can spot something. Now, it's a bit tricky trying to spot tracks with the lights, but we try our best. So what we do is we drive really slowly, drive very carefully, just have a look around and make sure that we don't miss anything. Alright, well, I'm going to continue south for now. Let's head across to Tara so she can say good morning to you.
Good morning, everybody, and welcome on board this morning. My name's Tara, and joining me on camera this morning is Senzo. And we're also really hoping to find some leopard for you this morning. So we just had an update from the guys who had shongile last night. Just as we closed down, shongile was seen around Tamboti Dam, which is a dam just a little bit further over in that direction. And apparently she crossed over onto our property probably about 20 minutes after we closed down. She headed south, and they were trying to keep up with her. Apparently she was on a bit of a mission, so she might not be in this area. She went down on Vubu Road and went west into this block to our right here. So I'm just heading up Gallagher shortcut. I'm not seeing any tracks whatsoever of leopard crossing the road, so she might still be in this block, or she might have headed south. Let's see what else we have. I've had some tracks from hyena. Just picked some more up from hyena actually. But other than that, not too much happening here at the moment. And you can see the sky is very dark. There's lots of cloud cover, as I'm sure Byron's already told you as well. So it's going to be quite an interesting morning, I'm hoping. So if we hit it lucky, we might get some spotted cats for you. I am really, really keeping my fingers crossed. So we've got plenty of kudu tracks. Unfortunately, I don't know if we're going to be able to see. I could try and show you, but let me see if I can get into a position where you might be able to see the kudu tracks, because they're quite interesting. Because if you remember talking about kudu actually placing one foot on top of the other, you can actually see it in their tracks as well. We're then going to go down to the dam. I'm just going to see, so we've got the tracks there. So if you're able to zoom in, maybe I might be able to try and explain what we're seeing. So there's the tracks there. So I'm trying to bounce the light so it's a bit like the sunlight. There you go. So actually in the spotlight there, I do have the track there. I suppose it is a little bit difficult to see. So I'll have to try it in the sun, I think, because I'm just trying to work out how I can do it holding the spotlight and actually point it out to you. So we're going to carry on our mission. We're going to drive around and then we're going to end up in at the dam, where it's hopefully going to be light, and we might be able to follow up on the nest from yesterday with the elephants. I'll tell you a bit more when you come back, but I think you're in for a treat this morning. It sounds like Jamie's in a hot air balloon over the Mara, which I think is going to be absolutely breathtaking, so enjoy that.
The live show onto the balloon. For those of you who've been watching there, we have been on Facebook, and we got a question from Lauren, who's from Las Vegas. And for everyone on Safari Live, my name is Brent, and you're up in the air over the marvelous Mara. And Lauren would like to know, which do I prefer, game drives on a vehicle or game drives or game flights from the balloon? Well, I don't think you can compare them. I think they are equally wonderful, and each has its own very special je ne sais quoi, for lack of a better word. There's something magnificent about being able to float over the Mara just on hot air, but there's also something incredible about being on the ground, driving around looking for the animals. Now, Laurie wants to know about the crocodiles in the Mara River, and Laurie would like to know, do they have sort of set areas that they stay in, or do they move about? Well, most of them will have set territory, specifically the bigger males, and they will defend those areas. Now, those areas will be high in food sources, especially during the migration, but also generally then high in females, so lots of mating opportunities to be able to take advantage of. Now, Jessie would like to know whether I'm watching or in the balloon. Jessie, there's some elephants. I'm actually sitting up in the migration control watching the balloon. We've got Manu and Gendre there, and that goes in with Ewan. Ewan would like to know, have I been in the balloon? I have indeed been in the balloon. Oh, look at that, Ellie. She can definitely, I think she's heard the of the balloon as it passed over. You just saw her ears open up and listen. Raren says it looks awesome on her 4K TV. Wow, that sounds spectacular. Dory says, so beautiful, it's just so heavenly. Stacey, do crocs ever hang out in the luggers? They do indeed. Stacey, I got quite a shock. I was near Sala's camp once, and I found about a 4.5 meter croc in a tiny little lugger, and he had about 3 wildebeest around him. Carly wants to know, who do I root for the most? The lions, the crocs, the wildebeest, the zebra. It is the circle of life, but you have a personal choice. Well, Carly, I don't root for any of them. I just watch what's happening in front of me, and that's what I get enjoyment out of, seeing nature unfold. Sometimes you might be rooting for the lion, sometimes you might be rooting for the zebra, sometimes you might be even rooting for the crocodile, as long as you never smile at a crocodile. Ewan wants to know whether I was scared when I was up in the balloon. No, I wasn't. Fortunately, I'm not scared of heights, so I found it exhilarating. Oh, what do we got down there? We got some waterbuck chewing the cud on one of the old extinct arms of the Mara River. Isn't that wonderful? Here we go, looking back towards the east now, upstream of the Mara River. The Mara River, the source is about 200 kilometers from here, no, a little bit less than that, about 180 kilometers. And it is incredible. Can you believe it? It is at about 3,000 meters above sea level, the source for the Mara River in the Mau Highlands. Here we go, more hippos in the river, big crocs lying on the banks as well. Now, we should be getting a little bit close down to where the crossings come. Let me just have a look as we go wider. And lots of hippos there. Lots and lots of hippos. And
Alright, we've just managed to find a beautiful giraffe. Now, it's amazing to have those incredible views from the Mara, from the balloon. And it's just always so beautiful, something so different. But we've just found a big old male giraffe wandering about. Don't see any others around. It's not a... Looks like he's got some foliage stuck in his, or on his head, in between those horns, or ossicones. They're known as ossicones. And James, you said you were hoping for some spots or patterns. Does this count, James, or are you referring to spots in the form of a feline? We'll try our best, James. Nice way to start the morning. It's interesting. I saw an oxpecker on that giraffe already. I can't believe it that that oxpecker is on there so early. Would have thought they'd still be resting. I suppose some of the birds there you can just see. I think on the back I saw a glimpse of one. There we go. There is a little oxpecker. Justin, you say you never see giraffe without their oxpeckers. Yeah, I suppose that's true, Justin. There are always a few oxpeckers around the giraffe. Excuse me a second. I think Tara was trying to get hold of me. Tara for Byron. Confirm, were you looking for me? Okay, copy. I'm at Chile Pan now. I'm going to check down the side. Thank you. Negative, I didn't. So Tara and I are both trying to find any sign of this young leopard that we believe walked through the area during the course of the night. Not exactly sure where she would have gone. I wonder if she didn't go and drink at Galago Pan, perhaps. Well, Tara's been showing us many different types of dung the last few days, and she's got some dung that belongs to the species of animal we are looking at right now.
Well, hello everybody, and yes I do. So, just a few people were thinking that maybe the wildebeest dung was giraffe dung yesterday, so I just thought I'd just show you the size of it and the shape of it. So, it's still very fine. If I can actually put that in front of that one, that will stand it up, and then I can show you the pieces in it as well. So still quite fine, but you might be able to work out there's a little bit of leaf there, and that's very typical of animals that browse. You might be able to find little bits of leaf, but it's tiny, just because they really can break up everything that they eat, and their four-chambered stomach actually helps to do that. So when they actually swallow the leaves, it goes down into the first stomach, or the rumen, and it almost gets sorted out. So the smaller stuff, if it's already very small, then it might sink down, but so the larger stuff will actually be regurgitated back up when the giraffe has a quiet moment, and they'll actually re-chew it. It's called chewing the cud, so you might see them just standing there, just chewing away, and that just gets it really nice and mushy. It mixes it in with saliva, so the bacteria can start breaking down the cellulose, and it just gets it really fine. And all the animals with the four-chambered stomach actually has that. Jasper's saying that the dung looks like a walnut. Yes, it definitely does, doesn't it? Now this one's dried out a little bit as well. So yes, they chew it round. It's almost like a soup. They'll then swallow it down, and it gets passed into the first stomach, the rumen, and then it will actually go into the rest of the three chambers to be digested. So it's quite amazing how much nutrients they can really get out of a relatively small amount of food. So if I just show you next to my finger how big they are, so there's my finger. So we actually had some impala dung yesterday, which was tiny. So you can see this is pretty large. So obviously quite a large animal. You've been lucky enough to see it this morning with Byron. Bulls can get into just over a ton in weight. So it's quite amazing that they really produce something as small as that. So there we go. So I think we're just getting an update. Sorry, Byron, go ahead. Oh, okay, copy. Are the guests out on drive now? So we don't want to... Okay, copy. Rexon, come in. Copy that, thank you. Are your guests still in camp? Copy that, thank you. Okay. So, just an update from Rex and one of the guides at Voyatella. Just saying that there was some alarm calls on Vubu Road, which is the road we're heading towards now. So I was literally doing a loop all the way around just to see if we could find any tracks. So if there are alarm calls, hopefully that means that there is a cat around. Keep your fingers crossed. So we'll see if we can actually head towards there now. But I think there was a question that just came through, but I was just listening to the update. So, Rory, good morning, Rory. Welcome on board this morning. I hope you're enjoying our sunrise drive, seeing the giraffe this morning. And Rory wanting to know if the giraffe dung is similar to that in captivity or from captive giraffes. Just got to orientate myself. I think that's the other two track that never used to be there. So we need the next one on to go onto Mvubu Road. So it is actually very similar to captive giraffe. So it doesn't have points on it, because when it hits the ground, it just scatters, and I think the force just forces it into these different odd shapes, and that is very similar to the captive giraffe as well, because obviously it's got about 2 meters to fall, and as they walk it just scatters everywhere. If they've been on a diet that's a little bit too rich, then it clumps together a little bit. So that can really help as a keeper to know if the giraffe has had maybe a little bit too rich a diet, and then you have to give them a lot more fibre. So if they've had, say, a lot of vegetables or something like that, or a lot of fruits. So it's a really good way of actually seeing how healthy your animal actually is. But it tends to be a little bit wetter because of the diet in zoos, whereas here obviously they've got access to water as well, but obviously here they don't have access to water as much. And amazingly, that is an adaptation of giraffe. They are able to drink maybe 7 liters of water in a week if they really have to. They will drink every day if they can, but they can't a day. So that's pretty incredible, really, that giraffes can survive on such little water. So this is quite dry. Obviously we are in the winter, there's not as much water around, and it got dried out in the sun a little bit yesterday as well. So if you've got it nice and soft, then you know a giraffe is not far away. So Vubu Road, going to be coming up on our right very shortly.